Alright, so I'm just gonna do a really quick tour of this little town I made called Falls Guild. It's here in the desert. I'm interested to perhaps recreate it in the steering blade roleplay server. So I'm just gonna start here. It is a little bigger than four tiles high, because some of the buildings are stacked, which I know kind of violates their server building code. Fellas Guild started out as just a couple of little buildings that a friend of mine and I were living in here along the river just to start out. And it kind of grew from there. It was for a bit a series of buildings that went across the falls in the front here, and eventually evolved into what has become a small little town. Apart from the fortress that's up on the hill there, which is more a player resource center for my server than an actual part of the town. It's not a very big town. It's a bit tall because I personally don't care for low ceilings, and the elevation changes of the land don't lend themselves for the buildings to be built against the ground unless you have sort of staged floors where you have half a level on one floor, half a level on the other floor. So a lot of what appears to be several walls high is actually just me having put in these fence foundations in order to disguise the pillars underneath, and that's just to help with purges. We didn't want these pillars that support the buildings, because I didn't use any foundations in the building of this, to keep these pillars from being attacked by mobs very easily and knocking down half a building in a purge when there might be one or two of us on, because the Wild Girls clan that runs the server, which is run by me, we have buildings all over the map. We have places, here is where we are right now. We have places up here around Asgard. We have places over here around the mounds. We have a small place in the jungle, not anything really significant, but we've also got stuff out here by the Oasis and Niket. And so I allow the purges to happen, but if we have a purge, we don't want it to be torn down immediately. So just a quick tour of this town. This is Falls Guild. This first building here is just a meeting hall and a sleeping space for 2 people, but could be made into a sleeping space for more than 2 people. We just don't happen to have a lot of people on the server. So I'll show you upstairs in just a minute. This used to be part of the crafting station, but I forgot where I was. Real life interjected for a moment. So this area used to be this area was part of the original crafting stations and some extra living quarters that were in this room, and I turned it into a small pub that goes up to an elevator, which we used to cross the ravine. Then when you go upstairs, one of my friends has her sleeping quarters in this room here, and then my sleeping quarters are over here. But again, like I said, these quarters can be made into sleeping quarters for more people. Let's see, go down here. I like the open air market feel of these crafting stations. Like on this server, there's no PvP, and because all of us are friends and we're all basically one guild, we don't have to worry about theft so much, but I like that there's a market feel to this area. Like you would go to a town and have a small market instead of having enclosed crafting spaces. Oh, hello, blacksmith. Instead of having enclosed crafting spaces, just having an open air market. And underneath there are some, because of the infrastructure and building around these hills, there are some there's space underneath for some rooms. So here's a small room that was, I built up underneath here for the alchemy stations. On the other side, there's another couple of rooms, I think. These aren't enclosed buildings, there's just kind of awnings on either side. Some storage for each of these areas. I'm having a bit of a lag issue here. Frame rate drop. That's mostly just to do with my computer, not the server or anything else. It's definitely my computer side doing that. Tanner's in here. More storage. Each little station has some storage, and then there's additional storage in the rooms behind. This is an enclosed room. Originally it was meant to be a player housing, but it's also become storage. And again, everything is just kind of open here. A little veranda there. Let's see, I'll go down here. Another room down here. Just plenty of room for people to sleep up underneath here, but also the infrastructure underneath here as well for this build, because there's such a change in elevation in this space that it's really difficult. And I didn't want, again, like I said, for there to be all exposed beams. There's going to be a bridge that goes across here just to a social area bridge space. Still a work in progress a little bit. There's the elevator that goes across the ravine. That side of the ravine is just, it looks like a giant building, but it's really just a pass-through and some space for some archer thralls to be up there. Mostly just for looks. A little gathering area here. Little launch pad area here for some ballistics, I guess you would call them. Not really ballistics, but trebuchet. There we go. And another shrine there. That Ymir shrine I put there just for a friend of mine who chose the Ymir religion, so he could see what was in his shrine. And the other shrines, I'll go ahead and show you what's up at the fortress. Again, the fortress is meant to be more of a player resource area. Like, so if the clan wanted to worship, like, if any of the members wanted to worship a god, there's four level 3, you can see the lights, there's 4 tier 3 shrines up there. So the players can make whatever they want that the shrines have to offer once they learn those recipes. It's really just, the server is really meant to be just a place where I can come with my friends. They can experience the game, learn how the game works mechanically. Everybody's allowed to build whatever they want, wherever they want, as long as they don't destroy or disrupt building areas that other people have already put out. Palace of Storms, the 4 gods. Just a giant little fortress area. This page is not really finished, but Yogg over there, Set over here. This hall is meant for people who've come to the server and left and never returned. The Fall of Heroes. So I was experimenting a bit with some star-shaped rooms and I really liked how this turned out. But it turns out they are a bugger to put a roof on, so you don't get a pretty roof from those. But the shape is amazing. I love the shape. I like the star shape, anyways. So I have two of those on either side. Map room here as a resource for people. We help people get the obelisks around the map so they can travel, explore the game, really learn it well. Here's Mitra Shrine, and over there's Deketo. We haven't finished the top of these yet because I've been having some trouble getting roofing pieces on. Someone said, for whatever reason, those pieces there should snap in, and they won't. To save my life, I couldn't get them to snap in. So that's that. I love this method of when I was in Fangs of Set on the Steering Blade server. We had this sort of coliseum area that was made of door frames, and I loved the look of it, but I thought it was too open, so I started to put spikes in doorways, and I feel like this way I get nicer windows, still a good viewing space, but then mobs can't chase up in here, and if we get a purge, they can't come up in here and mess with the shrines until they at least break through those things. So I think our purge level is set to 4 or 5 maybe. I wanted it to be challenging, but a few of the players were a little afraid it might be too challenging. Again, I have to finish this portion. I haven't finished this. There's lots of building left to do here. We have a couple of places under construction, just people wanting to experiment and see what they can build. But anyways, that's Falls Guild down below. But just wanted to show people what that looks like, and I've been on the Searing Blade roleplay server so much lately that I really haven't had time to be on my server and get I haven't been able to be on my server to really build it up. And my best friend has been out of town on family vacation, so she's not really been around to help either. So maybe when she gets back, we can get back in here and do some more work on the server. And yeah, so anyways, this is Amused server, and this is Amused, aka Sundry, aka Shaylin. Some of you know me as Sindri, some of you know me as Amused. Some of you know me as Shaylin. If you played BDO with me, you know me as Shaylin. If you played Warcraft with me, you know me as Lizzle or Amused. If you played other games with me, you know me as Sindri. And in the Searing Blade server right now, I am the clan leader for the Grey Wolves. My name is Tova the Red, and I talk like this when I talk. I talk a really bad Russian accent. And I didn't say that correctly. But anyways, that is Tova. It's they do some text RP there, but it's mostly voice RP. So if you're interested in roleplay, it's one of the best servers. The people there are really fantastic. The community is very welcoming, and it's pretty heavily populated. Most times we have between 40 and 50 people out of 70 potential people, and sometimes when there's a season launch, we get up to pretty close to the max range of people that can be on the server. So if you like Conan Exiles and you like roleplay, you are encouraged to stop by the Discord and check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with you soon. I intend to have more exploration videos, but again, like I said, I've been so busy on the other server, and I'm not a preferred streamer for that server, so I've been doing blog posts for that server rather than doing streaming. I could be a preferred streamer there, but I would prefer to just do videos for now whenever I have the time to do it, and then continue to blog and take pictures and share through my blog post what's going on with my role plays. That's one of my favorite ways to share what's going on with my characters is to put up stories and story arcs on and character descriptions on all her many faces on WordPress. So anyways, thanks again for watching, and I guess you'll hear from me pretty soon. I hope, maybe. Sandstorm time. Look at that sandstorm coming. Wow. Wow, I'm gonna get blown away. No. No, run. Get to the chopper. Oh, and special thanks to a friend of mine, Sai, for putting pants on my dancer. Apparently, some of the men got tired of me having a naked dancer in my meeting hall. So, well, that's how that is sometimes. Signing off.